Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing
Basketball.
Here's our hosts, Steve Collins, and Bill Flitter.
Welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops. Sorry, I'm laughing when we come on. I was making fun of Bill before we came on and cut him off because I have
my
control
frameworks
of the record
button.
Happy September. I know you don't have fall in California. We have fall in Wisconsin. So
it'll be a little bit of a change, not quite as drastic as.
So it goes from dry to drier, or does it go from wet, dry to wet?
It goes a little dry. It'll start sprinkling a little bit. The weather get a little cooler. So
our leaves change and fall on the ground and then need to be raked.
I mean, we have change of seasons like that. It's not as profound, but definitely happens.
Yeah, I know. It kind of does. All right. So what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk about the art of the timeout, mastering timeouts, which I think is a good subject for all of us to learn from, especially in those heated situations or close game situations. And, I think it's something that you need to incorporate into your practice is practicing timeouts. And we'll dive into that. But first, big shout out to Game Changer. Go to gc.com/coaching youth hoops. You guys, I hate saying that. Coaches, you will absolutely love Game Changer. It's a tool that I use to record games. If a parent can't be there, they can tune into a game live. You're going to get real-time feedback, stats that you can then go back, reference, make changes that you needed to your game plan. Again, gc.com/coaching youth hoops.
Interesting. Yeah. All you guys, you ever wonder who's listening? Like the people that I'm in their ear right now. Do you ever wonder about that, Coach? It's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird.
All over the world.
I always love all over the world. Yes. I mean, we got a worldwide reach, which is awesome. I love though when I'm out and someone I've been at a couple tournaments and someone will come up to me, I love your podcast. And I'm like always surprised at that. I'm like, I appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
I know.
Yeah. No,
and we're not even out and about. We have plans to get out and about at some point.
At some point, yeah. Our big one though is the fall. We're going to we're doing a free clinic giveaway. So hopefully we'll get that winner announced. About another month we have that open. So
yep. And what else? We have our free 18,000 page checklist, right? No?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, coaches, we put together a checklist to help you prep for your season. If you go check that out at coachingyouthhoops.com/season-checklist. Again, season-checklist, coachingyouthhoops.com, season-checklist. And it literally has everything that you need to do to prep for a season. You can use it during the season as well as great reminders of stuff you need to think about, questions to ask yourself so you can help yourself plan out every detail. Let us know if once you get it, let us know if we missed anything. Happy to.
And if any of you are watching on YouTube, and some of you are probably listening, you can't see this. Took Coach he aged 17 years making this checklist. So it's
it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of work.
It's a lot. It's good though. It's really good. It's
pretty thick document.
Yeah, and if you go through that, I'm not going to guarantee you're going to win more games, but you'll definitely feel better about. Yeah,
you'll feel You'll be less stressed. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, yes,
You'll be the
yes.
most organized coach on the court,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
And quickly, last thing is offensive finder are powered by AI. My son laughed at me when I told him it was powered by AI, but it's powered by AI. Tell him about the
Yeah.
offensive finder.
Yeah. So we built this tool. One of the questions we always get is, what offense should I run? And so we built a tool that will help you to make those decisions. You answer a few questions about your team. And what we'll do is we'll spit back an offense that best matches your team's skill set and your needs and your coaching style. So go check that out. If you go to Coaching Youth Hoops, I forgot the URL, coach. What is the URL? Coaching Youth Hoops, not off. Oh, it's yeah, that's right. It's the long one.
It is.
Gotcha.
It's
All
the
right,
one
Coaching
with the
Youth
little.
Hoops, go to coachingyouthhoops.com and then /youth dash basketball dash offense.
You
Is that what it
sure?
is?
He's going to check right now.
I gotta double check.
He's going to double check. The reason I make fun of him
It
before
is.
we jump into timeouts is I said, Coach, you got to come up with better URL than that. Come on, like. But that's right. I think that's right. Yeah,
it is right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about timeouts.
Timeouts.
I think this is an underpracticed, underutilized skill set. Me personally.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there is an art to the timeout. You have your 30s and your fulls, and I think it does need to be practiced because you can see it in games where I'll tell you my biggest pet peeve when it comes to timeouts. I call it timeout or other coaches timeout. Players are walking over. Like you literally just wasted 5 seconds of a 30-second timeout or more.
So when I do a full, I tell them they got to get over to the bench. And again, this is at the high school level, but I said that first 15 seconds is yours because I'm usually talking to my coaches and I usually only want to, we'll talk about what happens in the timeout, but I'm talking to my coaches and we're synthesizing. Okay, what do we need to do? What do we need to talk about? Blah, blah, blah. And it also lets them kind of calm and think and talk to each other. That is one skill that we do practice is, during the what do you guys should be talking to each other like, hey man, did you see that they're setting ball screens, blah, 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 or whatever it is. There should be a discussion there before I get back to that timeout. But we practice that. I mean, during practice, I'll call a timeout and they'll run over the bench and, I'll have one assistant talk to them about what they should be doing. Because again, it's kind of like one of those leadership things. It's like, we need more leaders. Well, you got to tell them what a leader does. You have to tell them what they need to do in that timeout, or they won't know, or they're just going to sit there and drink their water or Gatorade or whatever they have. Water's the best. Don't drink Gatorade. Anyway, that's a different podcast. But I think that's important. And I don't know how you structure your timeouts, but mine are very hard for someone that likes to talk, but very precise. The most important thing I say is at the beginning and at the end. So if there's something that they need to remember, I say it at the beginning and I repeat it at the end. Because half the time they're not going to remember it if I don't do that. But I think that's, and then I always make sure, we won a state title just because someone called a timeout and didn't have one. So we're always reminding them how many timeouts we have, who's the possession arrow to, those kind of things. Because I think you got to talk through that skill set with them.
Do you use all your timeouts typically in a game?
No,
you don't.
I don't tend to.
Is that good or bad? Is that neither here?
No, well, there's a couple reasons, but probably the biggest is I feel that like I feel like they're gold. Me personally feel like they're gold. And I feel like if I'm down 6 and I have 3 timeouts in the last 2 minutes, we can win it because I can stop the clock and I can make adjustments and I can do things. So no, I usually have timeouts in the pocket at the end of the game. Sometimes I don't, but most of the time I would say I'm stingy with timeouts. We do have a rule in our program that on a loose ball, we never call a timeout. in the scrum on the floor, we'll never call a timeout. And the reason is we know that we're not calling it. We know that we're going to scrum it and get it, and that people got to get open and they're going to pass it to them. I just think it's a waste of you only have so many of those timeouts. Maybe you only have 3 left. I don't want to waste one jumping out of bounds and calling a timeout. The possession isn't that important. It'll be more important for us to be able to stop the clock later. So I do talk to my players about that. I think that's an important thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think that's setting up those rules ahead of time. Are you going to call a timeout on a jump ball situation, right, or a scrum? And it's good to set up front. One of the things I do, because the other part in a timeout is, depending on the situation, calming nerves. So one of the things that I do is I ask a silly question, just to like get their mind shifted or make them smile a little bit and take them, especially at the youth level, is, one of the questions I ask is, I'll call a timeout and I'm like, everybody's together. And I'm like, who's your favorite superhero?
Right.
I'm like, I'll call a particular person, because that's not what they're expecting. They're not expecting me to say that.
I'll look up at them with the big, and if you've ever seen, Coach, you got to come to a game anyway.
September? Do you have game in September? No, you
won't
start.
You're gonna have to come to a
late.
game.
That's right.
You're gonna have to come to a game. But anyway, if you've ever seen me coach, pretty intense. Anyway, I will come down there and I'll look at them, get the biggest smile and go, isn't this fun? Like just to make them giggle, like, oh my God, what's wrong, Coach? Like,
exactly.
It's a close game. It's going back and forth. It's like, this is great. Isn't this great? Like, or again, I'll tell a joke. I have had, in the last probably 5 years, had several silent timeouts. You ever done a silent timeout?
No, never.
I just look at them. I don't say anything for the entire timeout. Just look at them. Because
is it one of those situations? Yeah.
Situation is maybe we're not doing what we need to do. Right. We're not playing hard. We're not doing it's
but
like
they know it.
They 100%. You just see it in their eyes. It's like, holy crap. Coach just burned a full timeout and didn't say one word the whole timeout. Just stared at him. Just looked at him. Like, anyway, but you got to use it. And I'm not getting mad. It's just like they know that something's not right.
Yeah.
Like
something's not right.
There's a reevaluation of what's going on at that time.
Well, the other thing that I do too, especially when we're down, I'll ask them, again, the age-old question: How do you eat an elephant? Just one bite at a time. Yeah. I'm like, we can't, you can't go out and score 10 points right now, right? You can score one basket to get us to 2, and then another one, and another one. You got to, like we'll chip away. A lot of times I see that they chip away and they come back and they make the comeback. Now, we don't always win those games, but they come back out after that timeout.
And that's a good bit of advice for the youth coaches too, is let's say you're going into the fourth quarter and you're down 10. Hey, let's get this to 5 by the 4-minute. You give them like, or we've all been in games, you're down 20. It's like, okay, listen to me. We got to get this to 10 by the end. You're down 20 halfway through the third quarter. You take a timeout, you sit them down, you go, we're going to do this. We're going to get this to 10 by the beginning of the fourth quarter. That's our goal. Let's get this to 10. Like you said, you got to give them like a little micro games within the game. And that's a great thing to do in a timeout because it resets them. It's like, coach only wants us to get this down. He's not saying get all 20 points back. He's saying get 10 points back.
Yeah. I had a smart player. We were never going to win this game. We didn't have our horses, and this team was they were just way more talented than we were.
Sometimes the other team's better. Yeah.
And this one of the girls that have been with me for a long time, she took over the timeout, which I loved in this particular situation because she saw the look on my face, like I was really and she just said, "Coach, we're going to score X number of points by the end of this game." And it wasn't like, she didn't come out and say win. And we're not, she wasn't saying we're going to go score 20 additional points. She was just like, I think it was like 6. She was going to score. We're just going to get 6 more points in this game. I'm like, great. You know how happy they were when they got 6?
Right.
And you know how quickly they got 6?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, why don't we go for 10 now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. They set the goal. They did it. But the other thing is, This goes into this story, and I'm going to butcher it. Sorry, Celtics fans. But there, in a timeout, close game, championship game, the Celtics, Larry Bird comes over to the bench, and uh, Larry takes over the timeout from the coach and says, um, "Inbound the ball to me, and everyone else get out of the way." This is what
Right.
Larry Bird says to the coach in the timeout, and the coach pipes up and says, "I'm the coach. I say what to do during the timeout, or I say what to do to finish this game." And the coach comes back and says, "Get the ball to Larry and everyone else clear out of the way."
And they laughed.
And they laughed, right? Exactly. Yeah. So it was a good story. And again, Celtics fans, I apologize. Maybe I butchered that story a little bit, but let's go through. So, coaches, this is the time. Take out your notebooks. We're going to do
Hey,
a
before
quick
we do that, give
recap.
a big shout out
Oh,
to,
yeah.
to Game Changer again.
Yeah, coaches, go to gc.com/coaching youth hoops. Your perfect
Tape the
solution
timeout. You
for
could tape the timeout.
I was
Game
going to say,
Changer.
take a timeout. That's right. gc.com/coaching youth hoops. All right. So number one, get your notebooks out. Here we go. Practice timeouts. Simulate them during a game. During practice, right?
Yep.
Teach players to quickly come over to the sidelines. Coach, you use a towel, right? Sometimes that's the exchange, but I don't know how you exchange if you're switching out players during a timeout.
Yeah, I usually have an assistant coach do that, but in some coaches, I don't do this. Some coaches will actually have you sit in a specific order. I don't do that. I think
I
it's
don't either.
too complicated for me and
Yeah.
definitely too complicated for them. But again, how you structure your timeout, like where do you want people standing, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so first one, practice timeout. Second one, structure of what does a structure look like? A 30-second timeout. This is what you do. One thing. Focus on one thing, one thing, one thing. Can't stress that enough. One thing, a defense, quick hitter, whatever that one thing might be. If they're not playing the way you want them to play, make that the point of it. Use simple, clear language. Full timeout, divided up into segments. Pipe in here, coach, if I got this wrong, right? First 10 seconds, just calm the players down if needed. Take the next 20 seconds to explain your strategy. And then maybe the last 10 seconds, kind of a motivational rah, get them excited, or the last 5, I should say. And again, as always, repeat, like coach said, end with a clear, concise summary.
Yeah.
Okay. Using a whiteboard, right? Make it
do not diagram. I'm going to give some advice to a youth
Yeah.
coach. If don't be Coach K. You ain't going to diagram up a play and they're going to run it. Like if you haven't run it.
Yeah.
Now the whiteboard is to remind them of what they need to do, not to.
Yeah, that's right. Confirm
that
the
for the movie
parts, right?
Hoosiers.
Yeah.
We're gonna, we'll run the picket fence for you, Jimmy. We'll run, I'm sure they ran the picket fence in practice a lot before that.
Yes,
but
that's probably right. Yes. And
it's
then
a reminder.
plan your timeouts on based on game flow. As coach said, he doesn't necessarily use all of his. And when I was coaching high school, I didn't either. In the league, the youth league, I typically do though. Usually using the whole timeouts. And as again, as coach said, avoid wasting timeouts on minor issues. Save them for critical moments. I think a minor issue coach brought up was the loose ball and diving after the ball. Don't waste a necessarily timeout on there. But again, that's philosophy. When to call a timeout.
Yeah.
Okay. When the opposing team goes on a run, set up a crucial offense or defensive play. When players look fatigued or unfocused, and to break the momentum of the game or regain control. Anything else I missed on that list?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
okay,
again, don't assume base knowledge.
Yeah, don't assume base knowledge. That's right.
Don't assume they know anything. Don't assume when they should call it, if they should not call it, how many timeouts they have. Like I've seen the best players on the court sometimes think they have a timeout and you don't have a timeout, or call one when you shouldn't call one, or anyway. So don't assume, please, coaches.
And again, the biggest takeaway is just practice a timeout. Yes. Again, running over to the bench on a timeout, right?
Yeah.
Practice your communication in that timeout, one specific thing, which is key.
All right.
All right.
Till next week, coach.
Till next week, coach. Good luck out there, coaches.
podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Stop by Sherwin-Williams and get 30% off select paints and stains May 2nd through the 12th. It's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Refresh your home inside and out with colors that make every space feel brand new. From cozy interiors to stunning exteriors, we've got the perfect shade for your next project. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.